Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, a Colts podcast with real takes, no clickbait. I'm Josh Hudgens, the guy on the left, and that's Dan Hertzler, the guy on the right. Dan, the Colts have hired their head coach. They've had the press conference. They didn't get stood up at the altar. Hey, Shane Steichen's our head coach.
It is officially a new era in Colts football, man. I am super excited. I'm glad everything got done as we kind of thought over the weekend. You know how we do it here, Josh. You know, we just do kind of a one-word reaction. What's your one-word reaction from this press conference?
I'm proud. I'm proud to be a Colts fan. I'm proud that it seemed like the system or the process that the Colts went by worked. It seemed like they didn't have their heart set on a Jim Harbaugh or Sean Payton or just one guy. They genuinely went into this process with an open mind. And at the end of it, they came out with the guy that they think fits the team the best. And I know as fans, sometimes we think we know who's best for the Colts, but really they probably do know what's best. I think about the Colts getting a young offensive-minded head coach to coach up a future young quarterback. I think about a guy who seems like he fits the culture, who talks about accountability, things that the Colts need. It seems like he has a total package. And look, he's young. He's not some coach who's washed up or anything. He knows what the NFL is doing and kind of is probably going to change how the NFL operates. He's only 37. He's just I think I read somewhere just maybe 6 months older than Matt Ryan or something. I mean, he's a young guy.
Well, Matt Ryan might be an old guy, though.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought when you first said proud, I thought you were going to talk about us because, hey, this is what we've been calling for the last, 6 weeks, 8 weeks here. We've been calling for the Colts to go after someone young, innovative, who can develop a quarterback, offensive mind. Irsay said some of the same exact things in the press conference. So that's a good word. That's a good word. I'm going to go with the word passion, and not just the fact that he was crying at the press conference. Hey, this is this dude's big moment. This is almost like he's realized his dream here at 37. Let him have all that. But just as he was talking about his players back in Philly, as he was talking about, you pass to score, I think was the line, and but you run to win kind of thing. He's got this passion that he wants to bring to this team. And, as a young guy, he's got to have that passion to prove himself. So he's got this passion. He's got this emotion. I think one of the reporters, kind of a weird question about, hey, you get on guys and then you're crying, like, which one are you? And the reaction is he's just a passionate football coach. Yeah. And I love that as a fan because we're passionate as fans and we want to see these guys, play their hardest. And I think he's going to do it. I'm super excited. This is an exciting day for Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, it is exciting. And, as I watched this press conference, there's a lot of stuff that went through my head, a lot of good stuff. But before I get to that, I just want to plug, guys, we're on the path to 1,000 subs. We're getting close. So if you could just take a moment, subscribe to our channel, it means so much as we're really close to that milestone. But to me, incredibly positive press conference there. And I loved hearing stories of successes with Phillip Rivers and then who is a kind of a statue of a quarterback. And he has success with Justin Herbert, who's this young guy with a rocket laser arm. And then he has had success with Jalen Hurts, who's not like either of those guys. He's a mobile guy who at times had been criticized and questions were thrown if he could even play NFL quarterback at a high level. So he's done it with multiple types of quarterbacks, which to me is intriguing. It's not just one guy. It's not just Joe Burrow or somebody like that. I like that they're speaking the language that we've all spoke, which is, hey, we need a young offensive-minded head coach and a young quarterback. And Irsay kind of let the bag slip on that one a little bit. But to me, it was refreshing because the Colts have been maybe associated with kind of being vague and dishonest. And I feel like they addressed a lot of things that we've all been feeling. And to me, I just thought it was a very positive press conference.
Well, you look at where we've been the last, say 3 years. We've been a really kind of boring team, to be honest with you. Mildly successful, but boring. There hasn't been that young quarterback. There hasn't been innovation. We run the ball. We play good defense. Great. That's good. You win some games that way, and you can do well. But you know what? As a fan base, you get this young guy. You get a young quarterback. You bring that passion. This is all positive stuff. You mentioned it. He already talked about looking at who Michael Pittman is, looking at who Jonathan Taylor is. I mean, he's not going to get stuck and say, well, this is the way we've always done it, and we're going to keep always doing it this way. He's going to look and say, who do I got? How do I win? And how do I, you watch that Super Bowl, and the Eagles team, they took chances. Now, again, how much is the head coach, offense coordinator, that'll be decided yet. But they weren't afraid to take chances. Down the field, they took shots. Fourth down, they took shots. There were some really good play design, some good things that set some things up. I mean, it was just a well-run offense in that Super Bowl. And I think as Colts fans, man, we got a lot to unpack. And I hope you guys stay with us in this journey, because it's going to be a wild offseason as we start talking about who are offensive coordinators, defense coordinators. You mentioned Irsay talking about, the draft and the quarterback out of Alabama. We got a lot to talk about the draft. This is an exciting time for Colts Nation. And, man, I hope you guys get on the ride here, because it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and again, just to hit that nail, it sounded like a report I read of Stephen Holder, who's kind of a Colts insider guy, said it sounds like Raheem Morris, Aaron Glenn, Brian Callahan, the Bengals OC, these guys all made great impressions. But what the Colts liked, and I've read this now multiple times, they loved the detail of the plan that Steichen had in place here. They liked, and it kind of met what they wanted. And to me, I obviously we weren't in the room, but I'm sure he sold them on a quick turnaround here. This team's talent it's not voided talent, and he's done it with multiple quarterbacks. And as looking at the quarterbacks in the draft, a C.J. Stroud, obviously a Bryce Young, he's worked with guys like that. And I think that might have helped push this guy over the edge. He was signed to a 6-year contract. He's 37 years old, so when this thing ends, he's only going to be 43. He's still, This guy's got a lot of time ahead of him, and I think the future is bright in Indianapolis. Obviously, him being young just doesn't mean that he's going to be a great coach, but it sure does mean that, I think he's going to be innovative. And you've seen a lot of guys like Sean McVay, Mike McDaniels, guys kind of the new era of the NFL, and kind of getting bred into the league. And I think this could be another guy just like that. So exciting time, like Dan said. A lot of good stuff happening with the Colts. Finally, the weight is off our shoulders. Jeff Saturday, not the head coach, and it seems like the Colts are kind of back, like settled in again. The Colts are back.
Hey, and I don't know if you saw, but shout out to Saturday. He gave a little video there. I think he was fishing, but he just talking about Colts Nation and congratulating the coach. I mean, just a class act. So I want to recognize Jeff Saturday. Just a good dude.
Yeah, especially a lot of fans were kind of harsh on him, and you know what? He came into a bad situation. So I kind of like that he's going to be able to kind of go back into the shadows, be our beloved former player. Yeah. He kind of even poked fun at the petition. There were so many fans that said, hey, let's sign. He said even his wife and kids might have signed that petition to get him out of town. So it's kind of funny. I like Jeff, and I'm excited for what his future is going to be. Yeah. But guys, please stay with us. Again, we're on the path to 1,000 subscribers. If you could just do us a big favor and subscribe and keep watching. Stay tuned. The Common Colt Podcast coming back at you soon. Guys, thanks for watching.